Well, sure, if we go off Trafalgar and Rasmussen and Democracy Institute, Trump's winning. So we don't know what's going to happen. And that's why
it's a fair point.
The polls are wrong simply because all of the polls disagree with each other. My favorite thing about polling is that when you look at the Real Clear Politics average, it's like Trump -2, Trump -12, Trump -4, Trump -20. And I'm like, what is this?
Okay.
Like, none of these things, like, they're all random gibber. Blah, blah, blah.
What is the Real Politics average?
The Real Clear Politics average?
Yeah, what is that?
They take a bunch of different polls from like the past several weeks and then average out the total approval.
they're pretty
The
good.
2 week ago one, the 7 days ago one.
It's the best way to do it, in my opinion, because they'll put Rasmussen up against, say, like YouGov or CBS or something. So you'll see Rasmussen typically leaning in favor of Trump, but Rasmussen was right in their national polling predictions for 2016.
Wow.
They said Hillary Clinton was going to win by 2 points or whatever she did. Everyone else was wrong by another point or so. So when Rasmussen right now is saying that Trump's support approval from the black voters at 46%, the argument is they were right last time.
Yeah.
The other thing is Emerson earlier this year saw the same thing. They said Trump's approval among black voters at 30%. If that's true, Trump cannot lose.
He can't lose.
Period.
Wow.
It's a long-standing trope, I guess, that if a Republican ever gets 20% of the black vote, the Democrats will never win again.
That's fascinating. I was unfamiliar.
So whether or not Trump actually gets that,
Yeah, we'll see.
we actually
I
we have,
will. I'm
no,
going
no.
to win all the vote.
We got this story.
Going
the
to
black
win.
We got to do it.
Oh yeah,
What
I
is
love
this?
this story.
50 Cent
Oh,
endorsed
boy.
Donald Trump.
Oh boy.
Now they're saying he's
Of
back.
course he did.
They're saying he's
course he did.
backtracking. I don't think he backtracked.
I don't think so either.
so.
Who was that
So-
lady who was on? Who's like? I need to remind him he's black.
Chelsea Handler.
Chelsea Handler. That was like
She-
the worst thing.
Hold
That
on,
was
hold
the
on.
most white liberal woman
Handler.
statement I've heard in my entire life.
Wait. That wasn't the only thing she said.
Oh no.
She not only agreed to
I don't
give
even want.
him.
I'm taking my headphones. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even.
She not only agreed. Now you can hear me better.
No, I can hear you better.
Okay.
That's like-
Listen. She not only agreed to pay his tax bill if he
That's nice.
reconsiders his support for Trump, which I'm pretty sure is illegal.
Blackmail.
She also agreed to sleep with him. Well, I'm
Oh.
sorry. I'm
Well,
sorry.
ew.
She said
No, I
go.
don't even-
She
that's
said
horrible.
go
That's
another
horrible.
round. That's what she said.
Yeah,
What?
it's terrible.
I'm
It's
pretty
terrible.
sure that's illegal.
That's disgusting.
Anyway,
And of course, I mean, I'm sure they
What?
play it off as I'm sure she's like doing a bit, but that's still it's a
Like,
horrible thing to say.
we're
It's a
not going to put
horrible
her in
thing to
jail.
say.
She's just joking.
She's just
The ju-
joshing around,
The judicial
kids.
system's a joke.
It's,
Yeah, just make
I mean,
fun
I'm
of
not
it.
like a authoritarian, but at some point you got to lock somebody up.
Yeah,
for
I mean, I
breaking
don't
the
know if
law.
I think I don't know if I mean,
Fi-
I think she was joking, but still a horrible thing
it
to say.
doesn't. Well, look.
What do you think, Tim?
Okay.
Joking doesn't make it
50,
legal.
50 Cent said 62% tax under Joe Biden. F that. Vote Trump. I don't
Right.
care if Trump doesn't like
don't wanna
black
be 20
people.
Cent.
I don't want to be 20 Cent.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And then-
he was correct.
Good for
yeah.
And then Chelsea Handler was like, she said all these things.
Rude.
Then 50 Cent posted again, F Donald Trump. I never liked him anyway. I don't think that's a backtrack. I don't think he liked Trump in the first place.
That's
He said,
okay.
I don't care if Trump doesn't like black people. 50 Cent doesn't want to pay all those taxes.
Right.
Yeah, of course not.
Is this the first
I
candidate?
want to be 20 Cent. I still love it.
Is this the first candidate to ever run on raising people's taxes? I heard that. I don't know if that's true, though.
Oh man,
Like a president being like, read my lips. I'm going to
Yeah.
tax
Taxes.
people.
many new taxes.
Yeah.
If you're like me, your taxes are gonna go up. Yeah, he's like saying he would raise our taxes, which is great.
You know what?
Voters love hearing that.
I love how
Doesn't he realize that's one of those things you're supposed to lie about as a politician?
seriously.
Like that is
Saying the quiet
you are
part.
saying the quiet part loud,
Very
Mr.
quiet
Biden.
part.
But I love how the media and Twitter have been lying for him.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing. Oh, and then I hear people say it to me, and I'm like, sit down, my
Sit down
child.
here,
Like,
Sonny.
they're like, Joe Biden's not raising taxes on people. You're so dumb. He's only going to raise taxes on people who make more than $400,000 a year. God, you're so dumb. I have a question, my friend. Is removing a tax cut raising people's taxes?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, so Joe Biden said he's going to repeal Trump's tax cuts on day one. Does that mean that people's taxes will go up? Yes.
That
So
means,
Joe
yeah.
Biden is going to take an action that results in your taxes going up? Yes. So Joe Biden is going to raise your taxes? No, he's only raising taxes on people who make... Oh, he's going to
Dumb,
raise taxes on
dude.
everybody, dude.
So,
So-
like,
Well, it's funny because with
everybody,
the Trump
everybody?
tax cuts, as typically
Everybody,
happens,
everybody.
as typically happens with the Trump tax cuts, we actually saw an increase in revenue, but they say that there's a decrease in revenue because they spent more than the increase was after we pulled it in, which is a ridiculous way to argue that position.
Not the strongest,
Yeah. So tax cuts are good for the country, ladies and gentlemen, and good for individual people. And I'm a middle class person. You know, like I'm like pretty firmly in the middle class, making an average living, and the Trump tax cuts saved me a good amount of money on my taxes.
I'm gonna let y'all in a big secret.
Do it.
Did you know that cutting taxes can actually increase tax revenue?
No, yeah, that's what I just
for
said.
a jurisdiction.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it does. Well, every single time. I mean, the Trump tax cuts did increase revenue, but what happened was they spent the surplus so that and so they used that to argue that we actually have less money than we did before. Therefore, his tax cuts decreased our revenue. It's not true.
For the ignorance, but revenue is the incoming money minus the outgoing money.
No.
Just the
revenue
income?
is just the incoming money.
Then how can they say that the expenditures lower the revenue?
Because I think that they spent more than they had. So lying, but also they spent more than they had. So they were under budget, I think. So then they're saying, oh, well, that means revenue decreased.
But it still increased revenue.
They still actually, like raw revenue actually did increase. The amount that they pulled in, the government pulled in was higher.
Here's what happens. I probably told the story on this on the show before, but there was a friend of mine. This was maybe like 15, 16 years ago. A friend of mine, her dad was a contractor. Apparently, there was like a Home Depot or something in Cook County, Chicago, and they shut down and then moved like 5 or 6 miles away into DuPage County and reopened. And we were talking about it, and he said this is a really good example of raising taxes not working, because when they raised the sales tax in Cook County by like 0.02% or some really small number, the people who are like the contractors say, I go to Home Depot, I order my wood, 0.2% over the year averages out, I'm going to lose $20,000. I will drive an extra 30 miles for my orders and for my deliveries if it means I'm saving 20 grand.
Heck yeah.
So the Home Depot was like, we're losing business because of this. We're going to reopen a few miles down the road and we're going to save our business. So what ends up happening is Cook County lost all tax revenue trying to get a little bit more.
Yep.
Because jurisdictions are competing with each other.
Yes.
So long as we don't have like a nationwide uniform sales tax, the competition will exist. And then someone in Cook County will be like, I'm going to go buy my expensive electronics in DuPage where the sales tax is lower, and I'm going to save myself $20.
Yes.
It's worth driving a few extra miles.
You know why? Because business people can still do math, even though politicians cannot.
Exactly. That's the trick. There's superpower.
You can order stuff online.
Well, no, I just wanted to bring the receipts on what I was saying earlier. According to the Congressional Budget Office data, in the 2019 fiscal year, federal revenues increased by 4%, but spending increased by 8%.
Right.
Okay.
So they said the deficit spiked, therefore Trump's tax cuts didn't work. No, his tax cuts did work. The American people got more money in their own pockets, and it was also better for the government because they actually made more revenue or pulled in more revenue, but they can't get money, they can't take money in without spending more than they took in because they have no self-control. And so the deficit did increase, but that's not a problem with the tax cuts. That's a problem with our spending problem.
Now, here's how it works federally with federal tax cuts, because there's no external jurisdiction. It's simple. If I give $1 to Seamus, he's got to pay 20 cents to the government. He now has 80 cents. He then uses 80 cents to buy a widget from you. You got to pay 16 cents on your 80 cents. So the more money you guys have, the more opportunity for trade. So more tidbits keep getting stripped away and given to the government. The simple way to put it is, if you tax at 30%, then Seamus only has 70 cents. He can't afford your 80-cent widget anymore. He doesn't buy it. They don't get any tax revenue after the first exchange until later on. So it can slow down or stagnate the market, resulting in less revenue making its way to the government for expenses.
Exactly. Or my business grows. We're actually making much more. I hire more people. Now there's more payroll taxes being paid to the government.
I'm sure there are economists listening right now screaming about all the little things they're going to
I know. But
okay.
I know that, I mean, the healthier the economy, if you have a healthy enough economy, even if tax rates are lower, revenue is higher because everyone is earning more. And so even though they're giving a lower percentage of their income to the government, it's actually a larger amount. In total.
I got to say, I love how academic we brought this conversation, considering we started with 50 Cent saying F Trump and Chelsea Handler being like,
well,
hook it up, baby.
He doesn't want to be 20 Cent. And I get it.
Well,
understand.
so
Totally understand.
I'm looping it back because of Lil Pump.
Let's do it.
What happened with Lil Pump?
So-
Now 50 Cent wasn't quite able to sway me, but I want to hear what
tell
Lil
us
Pump
about
had
Lil
to say.
Pump.
Lil
Yeah.
Pump posted an Instagram photo of him shaking hands with Donald Trump.
What is this nonsense?
I don't know if it's real. Is it a real
can't
photo?
tell.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Lil Pump is one thing. If Lil Yachty endorses Donald
Dude.
Trump, then there's no way that he's losing.
Lil Pump made a video where he was like, something like, I don't know exactly what he said. I thought he said something like F Joe Biden. No way I'm paying another 30-something% in taxes.
Wait
Trump
a second.
2020.
This matters to all of these artists because Cardi B did something similar. She's like, I'm looking at my taxes. This is insanity. How are y'all paying this much in taxes? She was talking about how Bernie is her guy. I don't understand it.
I know.
She went from taxes being crazy
because everyone wants the government to pay for everything while still not having to pay more in taxes.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
How
really
humans are.
simple. It's like, listen, all of us are sitting right here.
yeah.
I would like to vote to take Seamus's tie. All in favor?
Yep.
I'm
really-
not voting this time.
Thank you. Thank you. And it is your
We
fault.
did it last time.
I was
Die.
tricked twice.
I
no
did.
longer.
I'm going to vote in favor of Seamus gets a keep his tie. Can we get...
No, I'm not voting for that either.
What are you doing?
I'm
Come
staging
on,
a
Ian.
protest.
Okay, hold on, stop.
Evil happens when good men fail to act.
Fortunately, you
Oh
don't
my
vote
gosh.
the negative.
Right, wait.
I would
Okay,
say it's a
I have a
tie.
solution. I have a solution.
It is a tie.
I would say it's a tie.
I have a solution. I vote in favor of taking Ian's shirt.
Oh,
All, yeah,
okay,
in
yep.
favor.
All in
Sorry,
favor.
Ian. You
Sorry,
know,
Ian, you
sorry,
lose.
Ian.
I remembered who was there
Your
for me.
shirt, Tim. It's your shirt.
No, it's
I
not.
took it from you.
Oh, snap.
Well, I want it back. So,
Hey, how do you guys feel about repealing or paring down income tax?
Oh yeah, abolish the income tax.
you think abolish the income tax?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, that's not something we could do today, but eventually, I mean, again, theoretically, I'm okay with some level of taxation because there are certain government services that need to be paid for, but historically, we mostly paid for that with tariffs or, God forbid, sales taxes. But it's not as if an income tax is an absolute necessity for running a government, and you essentially find people. I mean, you actually alter people's time preference based on whether or not they have the assurance that they'll be able to keep the money that they're working for. So you can make the economy, and I would argue, do make the economy less productive just by having an income tax.
Okay, but haven't the people of Earth already proven they lack the cognitive ability of self-management? Therefore, we must tax 100% of their income and dictate on their behalf, with the AI controlling all of their actions.
Yeah, of course. How can I forget? No, if we should just hook everyone's brain into a computer, let Mark Zuckerberg run this whole thing.
Oh, God.
Jack Dorsey's already running it. Like,
It's
that's what we don't
true,
realize.
yeah.
Twitter,
Where is he? He should be on
Twitter
the
is
show.
the interface for the simulation.
Could you imagine if, like,
Is
you
it
know,
actually the simulation? I understand. We're trying to make the simulation more fair for everyone, and the only way to do that is if conservatives aren't allowed to speak.
so
Oh, man, it's
we
true.
have this image of Jack Dorsey as this like hippie guy with a beard who's talking really slow, but I'm loving the idea that, like, after, you know, so I sat down with him, we talked for a little bit before the Rogan podcast, we talked a little bit afterwards, and he very much, you know, is very similar. I'm just imagining as soon as he got in the car, he like the beard's fake, and he pulls it off, and he's like, now back to Twitter to take over the world, and he's got like a freaky fake movie accent, and like
Freaking knew it.
I imagine Twitter headquarters inside, everything's like, all of the walls are black metal paneling with red lights everywhere, and they all wear these like uniforms, and it's just Jack saying like manipulating people, choosing political opinions, picking the winners and losers, what stories are allowed, what aren't. What if you mentioned Jack Dorsey is already controlling everything?
Yeah, he is. He's
What
in
if it's
charge of this
literally
business.
him?
I kind of love Twitter. I'm not gonna
Why?
lie.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I never
You're
used it.
sick humans.
I got my account in 2008 when I was doing YouTube. A bunch of us YouTubers were like, Twitter, hey, the next new big thing. I was like, I just got Facebook. I don't want to get a third thing that's the
Right, it's a lot
exact
of
same as
things.
Facebook. Does
Right.
the exact same. If I'm going to do a text message to my followers, I'll use Facebook. Don't bother me
I'll
with
do
the
a
new
group chat.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just recently started using Twitter, like a couple months ago, and I love it.
I like it
I
too.
like
Yeah.
that you can.
You know the best thing
I
about
hate
Twitter
it,
is,
but I feel like I need to use it.
I've learned to love it. You know why?
I do.
Because you're a masochist. Because that's called Stockholm
No,
syndrome,
no.
Tim. You like Twitter
No, you're
because
wrong.
you're identifying with your captor. You're
No,
mentally enslaved.
I started paying a bit more attention to Michael Malice's Twitter account.
Oh, he's all right. That's fair.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
He rules.
and
He's the
I've
king.
learned from him
Yes,
because
he
he
is.
is the king. When he
Yes.
when
He's
he res-
literally the king of Twitter. That's
when
Yeah,
he
he is.
responds to Donald Trump with "We don't
You
deserve
don't
him,"
deserve him.
I'm
It's
like,
amazing.
that's it. He's figured it out. So now I don't capitalize letters. I just
I
tweet
noticed
random.
you don't put commas. You just
Yeah,
go.
right. I
No
just
commas.
stopped
Tim
caring
hates
completely,
commas.
and I want them. Like I figured there's nothing you can tweet without someone's head exploding.
Yeah, it's
so I'm
great.
like, I'll just don't care. I just like I tweeted it'll be really funny if Joe Biden wins because actually it'll be Kamala. Like I just whatever. I just thought of something, and now I tweet it basically like my shower thoughts.
He does.
Yeah.
I get thoughts in the
and
shower,
then, And then
too.
he writes SAD in caps with an exclamation point. Sad.
I have
Sad.
a theory about why you get shower thoughts.
I know why it is.
Because you're.
Well, there's information in water. Water has.
I don't. I
No.
disagree. I already
Information.
don't agree with you,
All right.
Ian.
Hypothetically,
Yeah.
if I was
Maybe.
crazy, I would say there's information in water. So
Well,
Toilet
Ian.
thoughts.
yeah. So
Yeah.
when you're getting bombarded with all this water, you're getting the information of ages past
It's possible.
seeping into your DNA.
Yeah.
We don't
Vibrant.
live. We don't live in Breath of the Wild,
This is
where
not-
where the liquid
man.
information
All right,
lands on
if
your
that's
tablet.
true, then Jack Dorsey's doing a crazy job running this simulation.
Dude, yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing. I have thought about it, and I know why it is. It's because we're isolated from tech. That's all it is. We're not allowed to.
Oh, so we have these weird
hold our own
thoughts.
What, in the
thoughts.
shower?
Yeah.
Well, people had shower thoughts all the time. Shower thoughts
Yeah.
didn't originate with
Exactly.
technology.
Don't they say that?
No, but she's
water-
saying like
We've
I think
never
that
called
you're
it
you're
that.
removed from distractions.
Right. Exactly.
I'm distracted. I'm sitting there at my computer all day, and I'm like be reading the news, and then I'll just like think of something and just tweet it.
Yeah.
And I don't capitalize letters anymore.
No, he
I
gave
just-
up.
Interesting.
Yeah. You know.
Maybe I'll try it.
You know why? Because it used to be like I remember.
Because he doesn't like capitalism.
I
It's
made
true.
I made a
That's
joke.
horrible.
No,
That's
you
horrible.
guys are gonna love this.
You were right.
Okay.
I made a joke, something about they said Greta Thunberg endorses Joe Biden, and I thought my tweet was very clearly meant to be like sarcastic or
Oh,
satirical.
no.
I said, I think it was. I think most people got it, but some
Yeah.
people didn't. I said, this is collusion of the highest order. We
Nope.
must not allow Sweden, to get away with it, something like that. And I'm like, Greta Thunberg saying she likes Joe Biden is clearly not.
Yeah.
But I got a bunch of leftists all like high-fiving each other and laughing, being like, Tim's so dumb. Oh, he really thinks she's colluding Sweden. Oh, he's so stupid. And I'm like, I'm into it. I'm like,
It's hilarious.
yeah, you go for it. Yeah, tweet it. I don't. I stopped
actually-
even trying to explain jokes because they're just not
Engagement.
smart enough to edit.
I have a
Yeah.
really similar story. I tweeted that on the topic of Twitter. I tweeted, Twitter's been utterly destructive for society, and Jack refuses to shut it down. Why? Because he's made upward of $15,000 running it. Like as a joke, just like
Yeah,
a vast
true.
underestimation.
Yeah. More than
and then,
seven.
and then I was like, actually, I think it might even be twice that, like more than twice that.
Whoa.
And there were one or two people who commented like, I think it's more than $15,000.
Do you think? Do you think
See, that's
so?
why. That's how I learned to love it.
Yeah.
Because I remember I made a joke a year or so ago, and everyone was like, "You're so dumb," and I was like, "Guys, I'm joking." But
Hashtag
that's-
JK.
No, you can't do anything. It's like
Joshing around.
no, it's like you put out
Doesn't
a
matter.
tweet and people can't tell it's a joke because sometimes these things don't read through. There's no point in trying to explain it.
No.
Just roll with it. Just
Yeah.
just
It's
get
funny.
it. Go into it. So my response to people then was like, I just went with it. I was like, it's collusion. Like how dare? And then I started accusing Biden of colluding with Kazakhstan because Borat.
Borat?
Yeah, because
Oh,
of
man.
Borat. And people were like. These people, they're just like, "Huh, he's doing it again. He's so dumb, and I'm
That's
like,
just trolling.
I'm into this. I'm
It's
just gonna.
trolling.
It's
Yeah.
a great. I mean, it's a good tactic in some ways because you make some certain number of your opponents look very stupid when they take the bait.
That's not it. If I have a joke,
it
I'll
is.
make a joke.
No, I'm not saying that that's the reason you're doing it, but that is like an added benefit. It's like, wow, these people actually genuinely believe this. I think most of them probably know it's a
Dude.
joke, but my favorite is when something is obviously a joke, because I've seen this happen to other public figures where they'll say something ridiculous intentionally, and people will go, whoa, you really believe that? And then when they make it clear that they were joking, the response is like, oh, he's playing it off as a joke now. This is
Did you
clearly
see-
something he meant?
The coyote thing.
Yes.
When Donald Trump was like, the kids are being brought over by the coyotes. and then,
we need a wall with fake tunnels painted on it, so the
Coyotes, the wily coyote.
it
Yes.
be flattened.
Yes.
and then you get all these blue checks. I'm just imagining they're all sitting around high-fiving each other.
Like,
They're
that's
like,
smart.
it's the craziest thing. I was talking to this guy I know, and I was like, dude, he's like a leftist. And I said, you got to realize, man, all of these people, you understand they're dumb, right? But they think they're smart. So they're
midwits. Michael Malice talks about
midwits.
this.
Yeah,
They-
100%.
midwits.
I love
They
it.
think they're smart, and they're like, Trump's so dumb. He thinks dogs are carrying babies. What a moron. It's like, do you have Google?
The coyotes are
Did
not
you-
dogs.
But it's not
Yeah.
the no. The crazy thing
I
is,
saw that. I saw someone
It's-
saying dogs.
it's not the first time that's happened.
no.
In 2018, Vox.com had to write a whole article because their audience is too stupid to know what a coyote is.
Yep.
So they were like, no, Trump didn't mean dogs. But because they were trying to defend their audience, they're like, but maybe he kind of did. No, he never meant canines or whatever. What's the Latin
Lupus.
family?
Some
Hey,
kind of
lupus.
yeah.
Ian.
Oh, that's wolf.
And I'm too embarrassed to ask Tim But
Canine
what's a coyote?
A coyote
Continue.
is a child trafficker.
A child trafficker.
Okay.
No. A coyote is a
Dog.
brown creature that
Yeah.
walks on two legs and purchases explosives from the Acme Corporation.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is stupid. He thought that they were bringing babies over.
Can you believe that Trump thought Wile E. Coyote was like
man.
chasing the Roadrunner
What
with
an idiot,
babies?
He's so
man.
dumb.
So dumb.
He's so
Andy
dumb.
Kaufman is one of my idols.
We need a bunch of sticks of dynamite to stop the coyote. we need to get me a giant helmet and put me
We
in
do.
a cannon to launch me at the coyote.
My problem with satire is that if you're someone in the news or that's like people trust, if you do satire, I am afraid that it draws your entire body of work into question. But you're funny as hell, and I
thank you.
think there's something to humor. Like if you weren't funny, that you'd be one-sided.
I'm willing to bet many of
love
my
humor.
jokes on Twitter are not funny. I don't care. Twitter is my place for shower thoughts. I'm not a comedian, but I do commentary. So if I make commentary that's potentially humorous or whatever, I'm doing commentary. If so a lot of people have fallen into this. So you've got a lot of actual journalists whose job is to be a journalist, but they go on Twitter and they post activism and snarky humor all day. Now I understand they shouldn't be doing that. I do political commentary analysis and I make jokes in my analysis.
Yeah.
I would say it's a small percentage, a very, very small, where there's like, sometimes people tell me like, I watched your video, it was really funny. And I'm like, I'm not doing a bit. Like I don't have jokes. I don't script anything. I just give my like take on things. And sometimes I'll say something. That's the same thing with Twitter. Sometimes I'll just be like, here's a point, and like I'm being sarcastic. People,
I get like that when I would see like news anchors in movies, and I'm like, wait, are they a news anchor or are they an actor? And then
Oh,
I
yeah,
wonder
yeah.
if they're like Anderson Cooper, like is he?
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.